So if you're a trans guy and you have been training for years without seeing barely any results, I've been there, okay? I've done a lot of mistakes. Through a lot of trial and error, I found out what works for us and what doesn't. And in this video, I want to share with you basically my top 5 mistakes that I have done in the past, so you don't make the same ones. And most trans guys do these mistakes, and that's why they're not seeing any muscle growth or even fat loss. Now let's get into this. So the first mistake that I have done in the past as well is not having a proper plan. When I started out in the gym, I literally went into the gym and I thought just doing whatever, a couple of exercises, not really focusing on the correct amount of reps and sets and the correct exercises for each muscle group. I thought just doing anything would bring me the results, but that's completely wrong. You need to focus on the right frequency, the right volume, and as well giving your muscle groups, if you're training, for example, one muscle group on one day and then the same muscle group again the next day, you need to give space in between, okay, for those muscle groups to basically recover. You need to give them time, because in your recovery, growth happens. And if you're just going into the gym and doing whatever, well, you are not giving your muscles basically the time to recover and to grow. So that means you need a structured plan. You definitely need a plan that gives you the right volume, the right frequency, and enough recovery time in between the different muscle groups. And trust me on this, I have been doing random exercises. I've been doing just random things in the gym for probably years and just simply wasting my time and getting really frustrated by this. The second mistake that I have done is not developing a mind-muscle connection. So that means I was just simply moving the weight without really feeling it, without really feeling the tension in that muscle group that I was currently training. This is especially important for your chest, for your back, and for your glutes, because most people struggle to actually develop a mind-muscle connection in these big muscle groups. I struggled for a long time to actually feel my chest when doing, like, for example, bench press or just any chest exercise, but because I wasn't really focusing on it. So the key to this is, guys, is to really go slow down on the negative and really feeling the stretch. What I simply did when I was doing, for example, dumbbell bench press for my chest, I would seriously try to go as far down as possible and slowly, okay? About a 3-second negative, so 3 seconds down. So you go down slowly and you feel the stretch at the bottom. You have to feel the stretch in your chest, and then you push back up. And this applies to every muscle group, whether you're training your back, your chest, your glutes, your arms, your shoulders, just time under tension. So every time you're going back to the negative movement of an exercise, you really want to go a bit slower and you want to feel the stretch at the bottom. Like, for example, bicep curls. I struggled for a long time to grow my arms, and I could not figure out why, because I was thinking I was doing the right thing, but I wasn't, okay? I wasn't really feeling the stretch at the bottom when, for example, doing bicep curls, because most people think just by doing this is how you're gonna grow your arms, okay? No, you really have to control it. So control it on the negative and completely stretch it out at the bottom, so you actually feel the stretch, and then you push up again. So this is exactly what you need to do, okay? Focus on the negative, focus on the tension. This is how you're going to build the mind-muscle connection. Mistake number 3 is not progressively overloading. I was stuck on the same weights for years because I wasn't pushing myself hard enough in the gym. I wasn't controlling my movements, and I was simply just not improving in the gym. And in order for you to grow muscle, you have to progressively overload. That doesn't necessarily mean that you have to increase your weights week by week. You can progressively overload by simply correcting your form, so having better form, having more control in your movements, or even by your sets and reps. For example, on your plan it says you need to do bench press 6 to 8 reps. You are doing it with around I don't know, 70 kilograms, you manage to get 6 reps. On the second set, you manage to get 6 reps as well. That means next week, you should focus to literally push to get on one of these sets 7 reps. So it could be on your first set, you manage to get 7 reps. And then on your second set, you manage to get 6 reps with the same weight. But you still progressively overloaded because you have increased in at least 1 rep. And when you get to those 8 reps, then you are going to increase the weight. And what you can do here is to simply track, okay? I wasn't tracking my weights, I wasn't tracking my reps, and that's a big mistake because I literally went into the gym, I did my exercises, okay? And then next week I would do the same exercises and I would just stand there and not really know what kind of weight I moved last week. I couldn't remember. So that's why it's important to track as well, because then you are just going to save time to figure out what kind of weight you had. It's going to be easier for you to progressively overload because you know exactly how many reps you have done the past week, the week before, and how much weight you have used. So make sure to track your weight, your sets, and your reps. Very important, because this is how you can literally aim to beat yourself weekly, whether that's by sets, reps, form, or the weight. Mistake number 4 is doing too much cardio. Yes, too much cardio can actually hurt your muscle growth. Exactly what I did in the past as well. I thought, yes, in order to lose weight, I need to do a shit ton of cardio. But the truth is, losing weight only comes down to a caloric deficit. Cardio is just a tool to help you create basically a bigger deficit to burn some more calories. But I was doing really high intensive interval cardio, which would just impact me negatively. Yes, I lost a lot of weight while I was doing it, but I also lost a lot of muscle in the process and I just looked skinny as fuck at the end. And it took me a long time to actually understand this, that cardio is actually not needed, okay? Now I keep my cardio to a minimum. I literally just simply walk. What you wanna do is to do low to moderate intensity cardio. It's more than enough to do this 2 to 3 times per week. Just go on a treadmill, put it on an incline and simply walk. You don't need to do sprints. You don't need to run marathons. You don't need to do 1,000 burpees, okay? You don't need to do any of that. Just keep it simple. If you want muscle growth, then don't overdo it on cardio, because this can also negatively impact your recovery, and you are going to burn way too many calories at the end of the day when you're doing high intensity cardio, because then you are not going to be able to keep your hard-earned muscle, and in the worst case you are going to lose it. Also, you should just simply focus mainly on lifting, on progressively overloading, and your nutrition, okay? Then cardio can just simply be used as a tool. It is not needed. As long as your nutrition and your lifting is on point, there's nothing more that you need, okay? And mistake number 5 is letting dysphoria run the workout. There were certain exercises that I was scared to do because my dysphoria was too high. So I didn't really try to get over my fear of doing, for example, bench press, because I thought I would look weak and small because I was putting like so little weight on it. And for example, training my glutes as well, because I already, like, my whole fat back then was stored in my lower body. So I was kind of scared to train my legs too, because they could get too big. But guys, you need to get over your fear. You need to get over that fear of dysphoria. Because of dysphoria, I was also just rushing through my workouts because I thought people were just staring at me in the gym, and I didn't really focus on my sets. I didn't really focus on the movement. And you need to get this out of your head, okay? When you step into the gym, when you do a workout, you just need to simply focus on you and not focus on whether other people are staring at you or judging you. I know how it feels like. It sucks, but when you constantly think about this and you're constantly looking around if anyone is looking, well, you are not keeping the focus on your workout. And this is exactly what you need to do. You need to focus on you. You have to realize this, okay? People don't give a shit about you in the gym, okay? They are going in there for themselves. They are not going to the gym to judge other people. In most cases, your head is basically just telling you lies. And you just need to simply try and ignore these thoughts. Every time they pop up, just simply focus again on you, focus on your workout, focus on your form, focus on controlled movements. Put a good playlist on, okay? Put headphones on to distract yourself as well a little bit and have that laser focus on your workout. So yeah, these are my top 5 mistakes that I basically did in the past. And I'm telling you, once I fixed them, everything started to change. My physique started to change. I started to be able to finally build muscle and actually see the progress that I wanted to see. I got stronger in the gym. I get now week by week stronger in the gym. It's so much fun, guys, once you actually start basically simply putting the focus on you and the focus on your body. What your body can do, not how it looks like, but what it can do. Another thing that I want to mention, inside my school community, I built a whole fitness and nutrition course, especially for us trans guys, okay, talking about all of these things and so much more, so you can see the progress that you actually want to see. All of this is step by step. You will also receive workout plans that I personally have tested and that have me brought amazing results. So join the brotherhood. You find the link in the description below. I'll see you in the next video.